Hello everyone, I'm Ixalan and it is Thursday, and that means it's time for another draft video. This week, only going to get out the usual two between weather that made my power not so good and the fact that I'm getting some comments back from my committee soon. And so I will be having to edit my dissertation. It's been a nice break from it, but it's time to get back to it. This pack's an interesting one. So Zatalpa is obviously really cool. I didn't record it, but the very first draft I drafted in this format, I drafted Zatalpa, and it was pretty sweet. I mean, I had multiple knights that made it come into play early. And every time I played Zatalpa, I won. I played her once on turn 4 or 5. It was ridiculous. I think it was 5. But it's just not consistent enough usually. And she's not quite as game-breaking as, say, Zakama. So she is in some ways harder to kill, but there are ways to kill her. I mean, she is good, but she's not as easy to ramp into for various reasons, even though she's only one color, and she's not quite as powerful. Curious Obsession and Water Knot are both really good, and I think Curious Obsession is better. We also have Luminous Bonds, Moment of Craving. What the hell? Let's take Zatalpa. Let's just try to be Dino Ramp. It's okay. Well, getting 2 of them back to back would be a pretty fun way to start the draft. I don't necessarily think this was the right pick. In fact, I think it was probably the wrong one. But it is the fun one. And sometimes some of you sometimes tell me I need to just be trying to have fun in my drafts and not trying to win. So maybe that's what we're doing. If we take Nezahal here, Jungleborn Pioneer is nice. Might be the better pick in the sense that it's green and green can actually ramp, but I think we take Nezahal. We may end up only playing one of these 2 scary gods. Maybe we'll get a third one. They're not gods, they're elder dinosaurs, excuse me. Yeah. So what's the best card in this pack? It's not a very good one. So I think it's probably Frill Death Spitter. Jadecraft Artisan's okay. The blue cards are all sort of medium. I don't hate Mistcloaked Herald though. The white cards, same boat. I play Snubhorn Sentries and Mistcloaked Heralds, but I don't really want to take one now. So maybe I just take a Death Spitter. Yeah. See what the heck happens here. What we really want to see is the Green Knight, so we can start playing these creatures early. Still not seeing that. Here we have Squire's Devotion and Exultant Sky Marcher, which are both pretty nice. They're not going to help us ramp into crazy things, but they are nice. Deadrig Hauler is pretty good too. I'm leaning towards Sky Marcher. Stormfleet Swashbuckler is also no joke. Would I rather have him? I feel like I'm going to take the card in the color of a Elder Dinosaur that I already have over the Swashbuckler, yeah. So Traveler's Amulet, the problem is these are both double colors. Traveler's Amulet, though, could help us splash in some splashy scenario. This pack is not doing it for us. I'm going to be sad if we have to throw both of them away, but it is entirely possible. Maybe we just take a Gleaming Barrier. It helps us ramp. It's defensive, helps us get to these. I think I'm going to take the Barrier. The best card in this pack is probably the Dreadmaw or Fathom Fleet Border, but we're trying to build this strange thing that we're trying to build. Raptor Companion's not bad. Rosca Relic does ramp us. What the hell? Let's take it. So are we blue-white trying to ramp? Not exactly what you want to be doing. Just because there's not a lot of ramp. There's none, basically, in white. And in blue, there's treasure, and that's about it. But come on. Look at these guys. Just take all the Gleaming Barriers and all the removal. That's the plan. That is a pretty late Swift Warden. And green would pair better with either of these to help us ramp into them. So that is definitely worth looking at. Squire's Devotion's good too. and it helps us gain life and last until the late game. But green is going to give us way more access to ramp and fixing. There's Evolving Wilds too, but I think I'm going to take this Swift Warden and see if green's as open as it looks. Well, there's another Sky Marcher. There's also another barrier. Do we just want to like get every barrier and hide behind them until we can cast big guys? I mean, I don't think that's a bad strategy, especially because they also make treasure when they die. Sky Marcher is definitely a better card, but when I started with these two picks, I think I'm just going to go kind of wacky with this draft and take a Gleaming Barrier. And there's another one. Wow, Curious Obsession came all the way back. That is interesting. I mean, I think it's a first pickable card. It is very strong with like all the evasive early creatures in this format. Another barrier, or do I take an obsession? I think I take another barrier. We're just going kind of crazy here, making some weird picks. I guess here we'll take River Darter. Our deck isn't going to want Moment of Triumph. You know, maybe we splash black. Sea Legs is a thing though, and it does sort of. You can just turn those evasive creatures into blanks as long as they're not the pirate ones. So yeah, we'll take Sea Legs. Riverwise Augur. That seems good for what we're trying to do. So does Snubhorn Sentry. We've got lots of defensive early creatures. Big scary guys up top. Mana Rock. I think we're just blue-white. I mean, I think they're open enough. I think there's enough defensive cards. Like if we can pick up some Sailors of Means, we're gonna be really happy. They ramp us, they defend us. More relics isn't bad either when we want to be doing this nonsense. So this is a silly deck, but it could have some legit wheels here. So Elenda is okay. If it were like my first pick, I'd think about taking it. It has a lot of problems though. It's just so small and easy to kill, being the main one. But yeah, it does get out of control quickly. What do we want to take here? We could get her and try to splash her, but we do have 3 Gleaming Barriers who can help with that already. There's also an Expel from a Rozka, which I like. Probably just take the Expel. Divine Verdict's okay, but Expel's better. Deadeye Brawler's also kind of worth looking at, but I'm going to take the Expel here. Yeah. Sorry, Elenda. You're worth thinking about, but man, Jade Light Ranger's nice. Traveler's Amulet, another Gleaming Barrier. Removal and Gleaming Barriers is what we really want. And this pack doesn't have that. This is probably going to wheel, and we'll be pretty happy to take it. We could think about taking cards like Negate. But we're not going to have that many creatures we really desperately want to protect, honestly. So, like negating a removal spell, not going to make a huge difference. So just another barrier. This deck's going to be either really good or really bad. Let's just take another barrier. What the hell? I mean, it's probably going to wheel too, is the thing. The Snubhorn Sentry and the barrier probably wheel. Is Forerunner of the Legion just going to be better? Nah, what the hell? We'll take another barrier. Gleaming Barrier City here. Where's the removal, man? Cleansing Rays, a good sideboard card. Sworn Guardians, and okay blocker. This pack just doesn't have any of what we want. Now, I may take Knight of the Stampede here. And we may end up cutting one of these colors. I think that's probably just the best thing for us. Like the white cards in this pack and the blue cards aren't that good. So I think I take a Knight of the Stampede and we see what happens there. Okay, we could take a Spirewinder or another Snubhorn Sentry here. There's also Cacophodon if we're really thinking about green. I think having some other threats is probably a good idea. So I think taking Spirewinder here is fine over the Sentry. We'll get more Sentries the way this draft has gone, I think. There's another Spirewinder. There's also another Barrier, but this time I think we do take yet another Spirewinder. Okay. Conquistador, number 1, I guess. Yeah. Another Sky Marcher. Another Relic, though. Sky Marcher is definitely the better card. This is not the right draft to watch if you're wanting to get better at this format. This is a draft to watch if you want to see something wacky in this format, I think. Because normally, yeah, it's like Sky Marcher all day, but the relics seem pretty good in our deck. So I'm going to take another one. Look, we got another Sky Marcher anyway. Everything's fine. The Conquistador number 2 or Crashing Tide. These is definitely better in an aggressive deck, but you can use it in a less aggressive deck to buy yourself time. But I think we take Conquistador number 2 here. Maybe we won't get one of those Snubhorn Sentries back. In that first pack, we got one like last pick, so I figured they'd come back, but other people may have jumped into white. We're sort of a blue-white skies deck, like at the core. Play defensive guys and then play flyers who can attack while opponent can't get through on the ground. And then we have this top curve nonsense. Hey, Snubhorn Sentry, yes please. So the one thing we're going to run into problems with is opponents who are playing a bunch of the early plays that have evasiveness, which can't, I mean, there's a significant chance we run into that. But Gleaming Barrier can block for a long time while also ramping and potentially fixing. We're not actually splashing yet, and I don't think we want to splash Knight of the Stampede. I think I'm going to take the Sworn Guardian. I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, I'm hoping I get to cut it. I'd rather have another Gleaming Barrier than a Sworn Guardian or another Snubhorn Sentry. What we don't have still much of, really, is removal. We have the Sea Legs, which is the closest thing, and that's not exactly what you want. And if we're a deck trying to go late, yeah, it's good to have the defensive stuff early, but we need some straight-up removal. River Darter's probably not making the cut. So that's something to be on the lookout for in the last pack. I think we have our early defense set up pretty well between 4 Gleaming Barriers and 3 Snubhorn Sentries. But yeah, like any of the removal in this pack would be good. In the last pack, Deep-Root Champion. It's a fun one. Probably take the Armasaur. It is a pretty good card. I like it more than Pirate's Prize, even though this is kind of what we want to be doing in our deck. This is another good defensive creature, even though it doesn't quite look like it. It's very hard for small creatures to attack through it if you have mana up. So I think we take it over Pirate's Prize. Yeah. Best card in this pack is probably Vanquish the Weak. We could splash for removal, I guess. That was a fun way to start the draft, that's for sure. It was hard to say no to just, taking it and trying to make it happen. So normally Territorial Hammerskull is pretty good. And we might still just take it. I mean, it's still a 3 mana, 2/3. But most of the time in our deck, it's not going to be like doing things. It's not going to let us like attack and do a bunch of damage early. There's Looming Altasaur, which if there was ever a deck for Looming Altasaur, this might be it. Just like a huge dinosaur who can block really well. There's also Hierophant's Chalice, but it's so much worse than a Rosca Relic. I don't really want it. The Relic is really good because of the Ascend. In the later game, it actually still does something relevant. Don't think we want Dustborn Sky Marcher. I think it's either the Hammer Skull or the Altasaur. Which I've never played an Altasaur in this format, but what the hell? Knight of the Bloodstained. We're not getting much in our colors anymore. I mean, this is it in this pack. There's not a premium removal spell here to splash either, so. Okay. Well, I like Run Aground. It slows down the opponent. Water Trap Weaver is also pretty good. It's better if we're aggressive, though. Run Aground or Weaver. We actually have a lot more creatures than you'd think this deck would, but most of them are not aggressive. Most of them are defensive. Run Aground or Weaver. I think Run Aground. Okay. This might be fun. But I don't think it's... You know, these guys are fun, but they can actually just like win the game on their own. Spell Swindle's fun, and it can't do that, but it could help us ramp into them. So the question is, do we want Skyblade of the Legion or Siren Lookout or Siren Storm Tamer? The Tamer's kind of nice because it can protect them from things, and it just gets in for damage in the air early. Skyblade of the Legion's a better blocker, obviously, but I think I'm going to take the Storm Tamer. We have a lot of 1-drops. Okay, Depths of Desire, Lookout's Dispersal. I think we want the Depths. It's another bounce spell, and it's another one that gives us treasure. So... Gonna have some cuts to make. We definitely want 17 lands in this thing. Zatalpa's definitely the better of the two, but this guy's not a joke or anything either. So Conquistador number 3. Oh, there's an Emissary of the Sunrise. I think that's better than Conquistador number 3. Shaper Apprentice isn't bad either, but it's never going to have flying. We have 1 Merfolk. So I'm not sure I want Looming Altasaur or Paladin of the Bloodstained in this in the end. The 2 bodies here are nice, but yeah, I feel like we've got... I'm not sure we want Conquistador. Like, they're definitely at their best in more aggressive decks where you can pump them. Like, the creatures we have, I want to either be defensive or evasive. And that is basically true of all the creatures in our deck. Pillar of Origins technically ramps us, but we don't have enough dinosaurs for it to be consistent. Like, we name Dinosaur, it can only add mana for Steadfast Armasaur and our two big guys. So that doesn't seem great, because that's something to keep in mind with this. It can't add mana at all. It's not like it can add colorless mana for whatever you want. It has to add mana only for creature spells of the chosen type. Cobbled Wings it is. Another Altasaur, like, I can definitely see myself siding those in some matchups. Sky Marcher is evasive, and, are you a vampire? No, I don't think we have any. I think it's what we take, but over another, we have 2 mana rocks already, I think that, and a bunch of treasure. I think that's enough. But we will take it. I'm not sure it'll make the cut. Headwater Sentries isn't bad as a defensive creature, but I think everything else we have here is better. Although a 2/5 is pretty... I don't know, we'll think about it. It's pretty legit. So Demystify for the sideboard I think is going to be better than Raptor Companion in our deck. It would have been nice to get some more removal. That much is for sure. Yeah, I don't think Sky Marcher makes the cut. Does the Sentries. I mean, like, the two... We definitely have a package where we can side in. Man, you know what would have been good in our deck is the Slaughter the Strong. Because we have all these Gleaming Barriers and stuff. Too bad we didn't see one. And we'd be more likely to play, like, Looming Altosaurs if we did. Excuse me. I mean, I think we want the Augur. It helps us find these guys. Or more lands or whatever we need. Sentries are pretty good blockers. Better than these guys are going to be, but they're also like a win condition we can have even if we don't manage to get to a massive amount of mana. And that's just not true of the Sentries. I think we cut the Sentries. I think this looks pretty good. Got a couple ways to draw cards. More of those wouldn't have been bad, but Emissary and Riverwise Augur can both help us find these guys. This too, I guess. If we have so much mana that we don't even need it anymore, it can draw us a card. But this looks like a fun deck. We'll see if it's actually good. We'll sort by color here. That's probably right, just because we want to be able to play those Snubhorn Sentries consistently. We don't have a blue card. Oh, Siren Stormtamer's there, but it being played on turn 1 isn't like as necessary for us as putting up some shields with the Snubhorn Sentries, so I think this is good. It's definitely going to be fun. I'll see you guys in the first match. All right, we're going to our first match. See how this goofy deck does. We would like to play first. Is this a reasonable keep thanks to Gleaming Barrier and Sea Legs? Yeah, I think it's probably fine. We definitely want to hit a Plains, of course, but I think we're okay. We can play the barrier. I mean, if up against an opponent who plays an evasive early creature, we can shut it down with Sea Legs. And if it's not evasive, we can block it with Gleaming Barrier. So it's, you know, it works out, I think. And at least now, if we hit a 4th land, we have Riverwise Augur. Kind of wish we'd gotten an Evolving Wild so we could do the Brainstorm thing, but that's okay. Yep, that is not an evasive one. So Gleaming Barrier just sort of stares at it. Oh, that's great. Hit a Plains there, right when we needed it. We will play Emissary of Sunrise. Sure, I'll take an Expel. Under turn. Probably play the Armasaur next. Okay, they're attacking here. Really wish I had the mana up for Sea Legs. Since I don't, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take it. Or are they just trying to raid? That's the question. No. That one does have evasion, but Sea Legs pretty much shuts it down. So we know we're drawing Expel. Yeah. What do we do here? Kind of feel like just building my board a little more and then taking 4 is perfectly fine. And actually, I don't have a problem trying to trade the Augur. So I think we play the Augur here. Okay, there's a Talpa. We don't really need her anytime soon, so we're going to put her back. And draw the Armasaur next turn. That seems fine. Okay. Do we attack? Yeah. No, I don't think we do. So we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close to the city's blessing, but not quite there. Sea legs will help us get there. Okay, that guy's impaled. Sure. Impale away. Okay, so I think I'd rather trade for the creature that has menace. So that's what we're going to do. All right, we know what we're drawing the next 2 draw steps. I think I'm going to get this relic out there. We could use some extra mana, and then I'm also going to play Snubhorn Sentry, and we're just going to keep the shields up, keep blocking. 3, 4, 5. So we're pretty far away from casting Zatalpa, who's what we're drawing next. Ooh, Bishop of Rebirth is less than ideal. Ooh, especially because they can... Wow. What they can do is attack with it, return Voracious Vampire, and give it Menace. And +1/+1 this turn. That's not cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Trying to think here if it's worth expelling it. And slowing that down for a turn. Or just sort of... I mean, we can also play... I think we just play the Armasaur and leave up Sea Legs. Yeah, that works for me. All right, so this, what I just mentioned, is about to happen, and it's not going to be fun. So we take 4 this turn if we decide to take this. So if I use Sea Legs, drops its power to 2, and I can just double block it and not lose anything. That seems pretty good. All right. See if they have a trick or something. Nope. Queen's Agent. That's something we kind of want to block, but I can just use Steadfast Armasaur to block it, and now we have the City's Blessing too. And we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can get us to 7. But yeah, I think we just leave all of our mana up. The Bishop is a problem because if these ever die, they can just keep bringing them back, but they're not exactly imposing either, so... Okay, Voracious Vampire. We may have to expel our own, especially if they're putting it on the Bishop. No, they're putting it there. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and cast the Expel here. It does kind of suck that they are going to get to explore again, but I think it's a pretty big tempo hit having to recast a 6-drop. It's probably worth it. Gross. Okay. Well, that's annoying. Now they can just gain life. Okay, no attacks though, either way. That works for me. Alright. Right, land is not bad. Okay, so I think if we can get our Gleaming Barrier dead, it's probably what we want to do, because it means we can cast Zatalpa. Now, against this opponent, there's a pretty good chance that they have something like Luminous Bonds, but Zatalpa can end the game pretty quickly. Okay. Well, they're not letting me make my Gleaming Barrier dead. But we're going to try. Oh, they might kill it for me. They are. Now if we draw land, it's going to look kind of dumb, but I think we're okay with that. We can cash in our relic pretty soon, too. So Queen's Agent comes back. Draws them another land. That's all they have in their hand is a swamp. Now they have nothing. Okay, so 3, 6, 7, 8. We're there. Another Gleaming Barrier isn't going to hurt later, but we play Zatalpa and say go. Did they just top deck a Luminous Bonds or something? No. No, they did not. Well, I can say that our deck did more or less what we wanted it to. This first game. See if we can keep doing that. Okay, I think we cash this in. We have plenty of mana, so... Alright. Okay, so... Zatalpa's going to get in there, and then we'll play Gleaming Barrier. Gets in for 8. Another barrier. It'd be fun to draw Nezahal now, too, but Nezahal doesn't have the evasions Zatalpa does. So it's not quite as good on this board. Right, we get in for 8 again. And we have lethal in the air for next turn. They gotta stop us somehow. We will bluff. So we do have one erase in our sideboard, which is definitely something we're going to want to bring in if people are playing like a lot of Luminous Bonds. But it looks like we basically executed our plan exactly as we imagined it when we were drafting. Will that happen again? I don't know, but that was pretty sweet. The opponent not playing any early evasive creatures was pretty good. I mean, I guess they played the vampire guy, but when you have Snubhorn Sentry and Gleaming Barrier in play, it doesn't really matter how evasive you are. So yeah, Demystify we do have, should we decide we want that. Sworn Guardian's good to bring in against a lot of X1s. River Darter, obviously against a bunch of dinos. But yeah, we don't really have much sideboard. But Zatalpa is definitely better than Nezahal. They're both sweet, but Zatalpa just wins the game on her own. Nezahal is beatable, even though he's huge, hard to kill, and draws you cards. This is huge, nigh impossible to kill, and has evasion, and I think that's probably better. But it is fun having both. Oh, well, this hand's not so good. We know our opponent has a fairly quick deck. I think we can probably send this one back. That's much better. We definitely want... Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we definitely want to have our shields up against this deck. And we're going to be able to do that. So, Snubhorn Sentry, then Gleaming Barrier. We do need blue mana at some point. Yep, we're not worried about you, Martyr of Dusk. Having Zatalpa in your opening hand isn't exactly ideal, but, you know, it's whatever. It could be worse. We definitely block with the barrier. Ah, I see what you're doing. You're going to try to go up and over my defense, which I think does make sense. Luckily, we have our own flyer coming down next turn. Yep. You're going to hit me for 2. Our deck actually has several flyers in it, so we can lock down the ground, but we can also block in the sky. Although at this point, I don't think I would really block. I think I would just take 2. Yeah, we're just going to take 2. Right, they're stuck on lands, which is not good for them. We have every Gleaming Barrier ever. I think we get the City's Blessing. Boom, City's Blessing. Now we can attack for 6 a turn. Wow. This game, we're not going to need Zatalpa, I don't think. Gleaming Barriers, man. Okay, that is obnoxious. Do they just attack? Yeah, I mean, this is still a race I win, even with all the life gain. We don't exactly want to be drawing all these lands, but what are you going to do? So we'll attack with both of these again. I mean, the lands do get us closer to Zatalpa, but right now, I mean, we're still pretty far away. We need 2 more lands or a dead Gleaming Barrier, and we don't have a way to kill a Gleaming Barrier right now. Okay, well, now they're going to gain even more life. I can at least just double block the Vampire token, but they can attack with it without being worried at all. I think we have to stop attacking with our Spirewinder now, depending on what happens. So yeah, we'll just throw 2 barriers in front of that. Okay. That, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 1 mana away from Zatalpa now. I think we can probably get away with attacking with our Sentry, but I think we want to leave our Flyer back. And we'll end our turn. So they probably have a trick, but I think we should make them burn it. Yeah, they got it. That's fine. Okay, that's pretty nice. It'll let us sort of shut this down, slow it down so we can find the last mana that we need. I think we still attack with our Sentry, incidentally. If they want to double block it, they can. Got to decide whether to put sea legs on that thing. Yeah, I think we do. It'll hit us for 2 this turn still, but let's let them attack first. They were going to, even if I use sea legs probably, but interesting. Okay. I'm just gonna put sea legs here. And I guess they're just attacking to gain life. Yeah, that's what they're doing. I kind of wish they could kill one of these barriers right now, but they can't. Ooh. We don't have double blue. We have them both. Not good. Yeah, we might as well stop attacking. We know that if we can resolve one of these, we're in pretty good shape, but... all these voracious vampires are tearing me up. Luckily, this thing is not especially intimidating right now. Yeah, we'll take 2. That's going to have flying. So we really need Zatalpa. That's not Zatalpa. So they can hit us for 3 this turn. Well, we're in trouble this time. We do have this to sacrifice in a pinch, but we don't really want to have to do that. Ooh. Come on, Zatalpa. If you take too long, it's going to be too late. Obviously enough. In fact, it may already be. It can hit me. Yeah, I think it might already be too late. We just missed too many land drops there. Yeah. Even if we manage to stop this, I mean, well, I guess we can... just take the 4, but... Wait a second. There's a much better way to do this. Where we at least kill these. There we go. Oh no, we're still taking... We're taking 6 if we do that. So yeah, we're dead. We could sacrifice this. Okay, fine. We'll sacrifice that. We'll see what happens. We'll sacrifice our Dino Skull here. Don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, it will be for a turn, but... There it is, but... They have 2 flyers. One of them only has 1 power, actually. So we're not out of this yet. Oh, we don't actually have the mana for Zatalpa anymore. Right. We have it for Nezahal. So we are dead. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, do we want Demystify? There's a good chance they have aura-based removal in addition to the Squires, whatever. But we haven't seen it, so... All right. Let's do more of what we did in Game 1, less of what we did in Game 2. Pooh, that's not good. Yeah, we gotta send that one back. This one's better, still not great. Sure. Why not? Opponent also mulliganed at least. We got an early sentry. All those voracious vampires, man. Land into our turn, then relic. We'll take it. Play the relic. This is when the barrier would have been better for sure. Gross. Okay. We do have run aground, so we can get rid of the Squire's Devotion at least, but we definitely blocked the 2-1 this time. Spirewinder, are you better than run aground? I don't think so. I think we just pass. Put another aura on this guy. I know you want to. Put a counter on it. That works for me. That works for me too. But you'll probably put it on your aspirant. Yeah. That does make sense. Okay, so we're gonna run aground on that. Also is gonna set them back on trying to get to the city's blessing. We'll take 3. Play a Spirewinder. End our turn. This time the opponent got going a lot more quickly than in the other 2 games. And we'll take 3. Well, we need to draw some permanents here. One more and we have the city's blessing, and both of these become... I wish I had sea legs. That's when you can really blow someone out with the city's blessing. You're like, sea legs. Take that. I think we take it again, since this land in our hand will get us the city's blessing in a worst case scenario. Or the land we draw will. I think we cash this in. We have plenty of mana. Wow. Okay. Well, we end our turn. This time we don't have a mana problem. We could play Zatalpa if we drew her. Or Nezahal if we drew him. Alright. We stopped the attacking. And we're going to play our own vampire. And end our turn. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they... Ugh. City's Blessing plus a Voracious Vampire trigger is not what we wanted to see. So giving one of these Menace means I can't block it. So... Well, I could double block it. Maybe I should. Do they have Vampire Zeal? That's the question. They probably do. I think we just take it. Not really what we wanted, but does give me a little more defense on the ground. What we really wanted is just to draw Zatalpa. But you can't really count on that all the time. First 2 games we got her. Couldn't cast her the second one, though. Another flyer is not good news. Man, this is not when you want to draw Gleaming Barriers. So we have multiple flyers to be worried about. And a creature with Menace to be worried about. Ooh, and that contract killing, I think that seals it for our opponent. Man, and we were so close to winning that second game if we could have hit another mana at the right time. If we could have killed one of our own Gleaming Barriers, you know, it would have been enough. That should just kill us, right? No matter how we block. Yes. Yes, it does. Yeah, now that definitely kills us. Man. Well, the deck definitely, you know, it's capable of doing what we need it to, but you just can't always count on drawing your bomb to win. She was a ways away. Was that Augur going to hit her? We were going to hit Nezahal at least, but against this opponent with all these flyers, we really wanted Zatalpa. But definitely fun. We'll see if we can do a little better in the second match, though. All right, we're going to the second match with our wacky ramp deck, and I think this hand is a keep. Have a bounce spell, a defensive creature, and, you know, Emissary of Sunrise, which can actually like attack and stuff, but is also a pretty good blocker. And we have one of our big Elder Dinosaurs as well. We'll just pass the turn. If they play something with Menace, we're not going to be super happy. And the chances that they do are reasonable. Nope, doesn't have menace. That's good news for us. Our Gleaming Barrier can in fact block that for now. They could put a Pirate's Cutlass on it or something. Right, barrier time. That first game just went so well, and we got so close in the other game. So this deck has already overperformed, I think, even though we're 0-1. So we'll see what happens. The thing that if this deck would actually probably be legitimately good if I had a bunch of removal, which we just don't have. We have some bounce, and that's better than nothing. But you know, sea legs isn't really removal. So yeah, we don't really have much in the way of removal. If he attacks, we block. If he kills it, we get a treasure, and you know, that'll come in handy later. So, all right, they're just gonna Thunder Herd Migration. They're paying 3, which means there's not already a dino in their hand at least. And I like that. Okay, got a 4-drop now too. We'll play Emissary of Sunrise. See what happens here. 3/2 would be nice. And that's what we're going to get. I think we take this flyer. Another flyer, you know, on top of Spirewinder seems pretty good. We can try to win the game in the air. Especially, you know, our opponent seems to be ramping into something. I'd probably still play Spirewinder first, but we'll see. Stampeding Horncrest. Does not have haste, so that's nice. Question becomes, do we leave mana up for Expel, or do we just play Spirewinder here, take 4, and then start attacking in the sky? I think we're just going to be ready to take 4 here. We can bounce this eventually, and it will be even better if we wait till we get the City's Blessing, which we're not that far from. Okay, yeah, Dreadmaw, that's no fun. No attacks, huh? I like that. I think... Does that get us the City's Blessing? Is there a point in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? No. So there's no point in playing it first, is what I'm trying to say here. So we're going to attack in the air here. And play our Sky Marcher. Being careful to leave up mana for Expel. I don't think I'm going to use Expel, though we could consider it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would mean we get... I was talking about 2 things at once there. We could use Expel, or we can consider blocking with Gleaming Barrier and getting us to 7 mana for our Nezahal, which doesn't seem bad. No, yeah, I mean, worth considering. Certainly. But the barrier is also holding them back right now. I think for now we're just going to take the 6. Which doesn't feel good, but... We're going to attack for 6 back at them in the air. And then we'll have the City's Blessing, and Expel will put this, probably this, on top of our opponent's library. So, Cacophodon, okay. Big dude, can't really attack through a Gleaming Barrier though. Okay, so this puts us at 6, which gives us the City's Blessing. So, do we attack for 5? I think we do. Drop them to 13. We're ready with Expel. And we'll end our turn. Then we're probably playing Nezahal and seeing if he can stave off our opponent effectively. Okay. Well, in this case, I think the barrier is going to block there. I'm going to declare a block here, though I'm intending on using Expel. So let's see what happens. All right, we're going to Expel. Library. So we take 4. Unfortunately, we're not going to have 3 cards in our hand to protect Nezahal. We're only going to have 2. Actually, we'll have 1 because we have to play this land. Death Spitter, okay. I think we still play Nezahal. I think we attack for the 5 in the sky. And we play Nezahal. We haven't gotten to play yet. We've played Zatalpa, but not Nezahal. He needs evasion of some kind. Come on. I mean, the only thing he has going for him, like that, if a removal spell is cast on him, you at least get to draw a card. But, you know, Zatalpa costs 1 more mana and does so much more nonsense. Run aground on their 6-drop again will feel pretty good, though. Got 5 damage in the air and basically a huge blocker is what it amounts to. It's not much else right now, yeah. But a huge blocker on the ground is actually pretty good right here. Since our opponent has all kinds of attackers. Okay, Storm Tamer. So we're just going to attack with both flyers. We can play the Storm Tamer to protect Nezahal now. So we'll get in for 5. We have lethal damage next turn. We have Run Aground to prevent too much from going wrong. Along with Siren Storm Tamer to maybe prevent too much from going wrong. Should have given it hexproof at least. And taken away the discard 3 cards ability. I mean, I guess it would be too good, maybe, but like a 7 mana 7/7 hexproof is really not that far off. We've seen 6 mana 6/7 hexproofs at uncommon in Amonkhet, so. Ooh, Form of the Dinosaur. Okay, that's kind of annoying. It buys them some time. We do get to draw a card. But they still don't have any good attacks. I think we probably just hang on to Run Aground here because... So it is spell or ability, so I can use this to protect one of my other guys. Alright, so all the flyers are going to attack. Drops them back down to 9. I'm going to play the Snubhorn. I'm holding on to this land because it does get me potentially a little closer to being able to hold on to the 3. So this does 15 damage to something, yeah. Do we let that happen? They go to 6. I can attack for 3. Yeah. I think we let it happen. So we have drawn 1 card off of Nezahal, so there's that. Still have the ground locked down pretty well between Nezahal and the other guys. We're not worried about a trick. Not especially, anyway. All right, so we're going to attack with both flyers. We're going to hold on to our 3 cards here so we can save Nezahal if we need to. There's no reason to play a land, so Nezahal is now protected, and we have run aground for, you know, various other purposes. So he's probably just going to fight our Gleaming Barrier. No, he is going to fight this and go to 1. Interesting. Okay. Do they have another form of the dragon? That would be a nightmare. Because then they would be able to fight twice. They'd go all the way back up to 15, etc. So we don't want that. Hunt the Weak on the Storm Tamer. Okay, so that keeps our 1 damage from getting through. He's making this into a 7/7. I say we just run aground. Break that up. Draw a card. This stays alive. Our opponent is at 1. We get to draw a card to keep Nezahal safe. And the Storm Tamer stays alive. Yep, we got there. Can we win more than game 1 this time? Okay, so our opponent has a pretty scary enchantment. I mean, it is one that's very conditional. But it's the only one we saw, right? They're red-green. They're probably not gonna, I mean, they might have like a sea red or something. But River Darter might be reasonable. We did see a lot of dinosaurs, but not like all dinosaurs. Sky Marcher and Emissary are definitely better. Yeah, I don't think we change anything. Didn't see enough pirates to side out Sea Legs. We can cast it on our own guys anyway, even in, you know, our own pirates. Not that we have very many. That is a horrible hand, even with an early blocker. So we'll be sending this one back. Okay, this one's reasonable. Sure. I'm a little afraid of putting the island on the bottom and then drawing all plains. If it were a plains, I would have probably put it on the bottom. But we have another early barrier into Relic, into Spirewinder. Not an evasive creature. Okay. See, we would have drawn a plains. So yeah, it's barrier time. They may have sided in like Shatter or something, but honestly, if they're using a card to kill our Gleaming Barrier, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. We've got double Relic, so casting our big dinosaur shouldn't be too difficult. We'll have to see, though. Okay. Relic number 1. I think we blocked the Death Spitter. I mean, again, if they use a trick, it's kind of okay with me, you know. Okay, Frillback can actually just attack through the barrier, which that is a good card to side in against us for that reason. Okay, I think we play Spirewinder. End our turn. Probably just take 4 from the first swing from this frillback. Okay. Well, we're going to block the Death Spitter and see if our opponent can do something about that. We take 4. Depths of Desire is not bad. It's not bad. I think we play another Oraska Relic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could cast Depths theoretically if we needed to get City's Blessing at instant speed, which isn't a terrible plan, as a 3/4 can just block and kill the Death Spitter. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't think we attack. No. You bad person. So even using Depths, I mean, I could use it to save my own creature, but that doesn't really seem worth it. Using it, it won't be enough to... The 4 toughness won't be enough to survive Bombard, so we just have to deal with it. So I think we take 4 again, block the Death Spitter. If they try to use a trick this time, we can Depths of Desire, which will feel pretty good. It's not what they do, though. Cacophodon. I think we hold on to Depths. Okay, that's pretty good. So we can play Spirewinder. There's the City's Blessing. We have both relics online as ways to gain life. And we have a 3/4 who can block pretty well. In addition to being able to attack pretty well if we ever get to a point where we can do that. So this is a likely place where they'll try to play Hunt the Weak, and we're going to be pretty happy if they do. Although they don't have anyone who's good at fighting my Spirewinder now that I look at it. So maybe not. I think we put Spirewinder blocking the Death Spitter and the Gleaming Barrier blocking the Cacophodon. Yeah, because we can actually kill the Death Spitter. If they try to use a trick, we can use Depths of Desire. We do go to 8 here because Frillback is like so good against us. All right, let's see what they have. Nothing. Okay. We actually go to 6. Yeah. Ouchies. But we do have 6 life just sitting here when we decide we need it. Mutiny. So you're killing my Gleaming Barrier? Mutiny is pretty bad in that situation. Yeah, whatever. Dead Barrier. We get a treasure token. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cash one of these in. Yeah, I'm going to cash one of these in. We're at a place where we can play one of our big dinosaur win conditions, so I'm trying to find them. It's not a big dinosaur, but I will take it. It can block Cacophodon. Though it does trigger Enrage, which is kind of annoying. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to hold on to this land to bluff. There's no reason not to. I actually probably would rather just trade the Sky Marcher for the Frillback. Now we might see them try to Hunt the Weak because there's some good targets for hunting the weak here. Well, namely Cacophodon can fight and kill my Sky Marcher. They're going to bring the Thunder. Right, yeah, we're gonna trade Sky Marcher for Frillback here. All right. Ooh, that's not good news. We can make the token disappear with Depths of Desire, but still. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can also just cash this in now, and I think we do. Okay. Hello. That's what we were looking for. Zatalpa. Red-green does not have a lot of ways of dealing with Zatalpa. I can tell you that. We're going to end the turn just to be careful here. We get to untap and have 2 bounce spells ready to go. So that's good. Does red-green have any way of dealing with Zatalpa? I really don't think so. White and blue have ways. Wow, 2 elders. Sun-collared raptor, not pterodon. So Hunt the Weak here, since I'm tapped out, would be pretty good on our Spirewinder. No, it's just an Orozco Raptor. I'm not worried about that. Can't blame you, yeah. Sea legs, okay. We have lots of ways of interacting. We can only cast 2 of them, obviously, but we do have lots of ways to keep ourselves from really getting hurt here. So we're just going to attack for the 8. We can get so close to being lethal next turn, but not quite. We can only swing for 11. No attacks. Yeah, there's not a lot of good they can do. No, there's no reason to cast any of our spells, basically. And there's also really no reason to attack with Spirewinder here, too. It puts them at 1, but... what good is that, you know? Play a Sentry. Just a little more help on the ground doesn't hurt. Looks like we're going to get there and get a match win. Something crazy is about to happen now that I said that. Ooh, yeah, that does help them. I'm even more glad I didn't attack with Spirewinder, but... okay. Form of the freaking dragon. Dinosaur. Form of the dragon's even scarier. Alright, well, we're going to attack for 8 again. Can't fight and kill Zatalpa, so we have that going for us. I mean, can fight Zatalpa, but what's the point? Okay, so we've got enough mana now to cast all 3 of these spells if we have to. Yep. We're not going to do anything about that. Too bad it wasn't a pirate. Then Sea Legs would have been pretty funny. Well, no, it wouldn't have. 15. Doesn't matter. I think we're getting there. All right. Well, Stoppa's going to block this. Snubhorn Sentry's going to block this. I don't want to give them the advantage of if they want to actually kill this. Well, that's probably a little too risky. No, it's not. Because they can pump that so much. I can just bounce it, though, at the same time. So nothing's really that risky since we can just bounce whatever they try to use a combat trick on or whatever. Or sea legs or... So +3/+0. Yes, that is 4. Yeah, I think now we definitely just go Depths of Desire. And they only hit us for 8, so Zatalpa... Yeah, Zatalpa kills them. We win a match with our Zatalpa Nezahal deck, and they, you know, one showed up in one game and one in the other game. See if we can keep it up. See you guys in the final match. All right, we're going to the finals with our wacky deck. I think this hand's a keep. It's not the greatest because we don't have, like, any of our defensive creatures yet, but we do have 4 Gleaming Barriers. Of course, it's pretty good against those things. I was going to say, we do have 4 Gleaming Barriers and 3 Snubhorn Sentries. We will take 1. Daring Saboteur. Yeah, that's obnoxious. I think we just end our turn. I would be perfectly happy to trade with the Saboteur. They can also just pay 3 to attack me through my Storm Tamer. And then that's kind of annoying. But looks like they're not going to. So we'll just take the 1. Will Sea Legs be bad here? Fell Flagship, huh? Right. Well, we're going to end our turn again. Crewing the Flagship would be interesting here. They might just start making this thing unblockable. Which is definitely not what we want. Okay, they're just crewing the Flagship. It makes me discard a card if it hits me. So I think I take 4 and just discard one of these excess lands. Get out of here. Golden Guardian. Opponent's deck is gross. I'm gonna bounce the Guardian. I can definitely hold off on it until like it tries to transform too, but that seemed fine. Yeah, we'll play Snubhorn Sentry here. And end our turn again. Yeah. We could use Run Aground, but I think we just let it hit us again and draw a card. Discard a card. Draw a card would be great. So we're going to take 4. Not going super well so far. I can draw a land... Yeah, well, not. I don't need a land. A permanent. I can get to City's Blessing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, not quite. So Talpa. See, now we really don't want to get hit by Fell Flagship. So that's something to keep in mind. We'll end our turn. Yeah, Golden Guardian's gross. The fact that he can sort of just... So they're going to make him unblockable. And then crew Fell Flagship with Golden Guardian. We're 2 mana away from Zatalpa, which is not good news when our opponent's making us discard cards. I'm going to cast Run Aground on the flagship. Which, flavor, right? We're going to take 3. Bombard. So they're splashing red. Blue, black, red. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 1 mana away. Snubborn Sentry's still a lowly 0/3, unfortunately, but we kind of actually just want to draw a land here. Although against Daring Saboteur it may not matter since it's unblockable. So that's kind of an issue. So Talpa can win quickly, but not that quickly. All right, we take the 1 here. I guess there's kind of a combo with Golden Guardian in this, in that you can make the Guardian fight it and then they both die. It's kind of a combo. Emphasis on kind of. We did draw another land. Is it too late? We're about to find out. We need to draw one of our ways to gain life, basically. So this being unblockable can kill us in 2 turns. So that is kind of a problem. We only have 2 ways of gaining life. We do have another bounce spell, which would be useful, but not amazing. They could also have their own bounce spell. That's the problem with playing against white is they can just bounce the Talpa. I'm playing against blue. I've done that where my opponent finally managed to get their Zatalpa out, but they were at too low of life. I bounced it, and I won the game. So we're going to go to 3 here. I get to do some more looting. So we've got to draw a way to gain life or a bounce spell, and we don't. So we'll go ahead and scoop. So, is there anything we can do about unblockable creatures? Not so much. No. Sea legs will be good against it. Oh, wait, no, it won't. It's a stupid pirate. Man. Yeah, we just don't want to see that card again. Or at least have a fast enough start that we can put pressure on them. Get these guys out faster. Because that is a problem. I mean, Looming Altasaur would be kind of funny just because it would make them have to make it unblockable, but we already have enough creatures that make them make it unblockable. Okay, that is definitely a keep. We don't have any blue mana, but we got early defense, early emissary, who can chip in for some damage too early, depending on our opponent's board. So I think I like it. Opponent knows we have Zatalpa. It's regrettable that we had to let them know that. But I think it was worth playing it, even though the chances of us winning were low. Because if we had drawn away to gain life or something, we would have had a chance there. All right, barrier. So, do we play Emissary or Sky Marcher first? Depends what our opponent does. They do nothing. There's the Talpa. I think we play the Emissary. We're going to put that in our yard because we really need blue mana. All right. Stormfleet Sprinter can attack. He does make our deck look bad. All these unblockable things make our deck look pretty bad. I think we're actually going to try to go for a clock here. And so instead of playing 2 defensive creatures here like I could. Although, speaking of clock, what happens if I play both of these? That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then land, Sky Marcher would give us City's Blessing, but I think we still play the Sky Marcher because this way we don't have to hit a land. See if they raid on us here. Seems possible. Sculptor. Interesting. That works for me pretty okay. I'm perfectly happy with him doing that. Ah, relic. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, why do you add colorless? All right, well, we're going to attack with the 2 creatures who can attack. We may want to rethink our Gleaming Barriers in this matchup. I don't know what else we really have in our sideboard, but we might have something. So I'm going to go Sentry, Barrier. So next turn, Relic gives us the City's Blessing, and our board will be pretty formidable. So that's nice. Yeah, if all you're doing is playing that guy again, your unblockable guys cannot outrace my guys. Hello. We attack for a bunch. Is that lethal? 3, 6. It's not quite. They go to 1. We have this to turn into life if we're desperate. Obviously, since we have both our Elder Dragons in our hand, we'd like to avoid that. But this is a game that's going to be won by the unsung heroes of our deck, not by these two. All right. Well, this deck has definitely overperformed. Better than I thought it would be. So, unblockable, huh? Unblockable. I mean, we can maybe cut one and put in like a River Darter since it can at least swing back. I mean, maybe that's what we do. I mean, it doesn't feel great, but I think that's fine. I don't really want to bring in like Paladin of the Bloodstained. It's okay. I mean, it does present more damage, but I think leaving 3 barriers in is probably fine. I'm not as upset about these because at least they turn into attackers late, as we saw in that game. Well, we're going to have to send this one back, I think. Right, this is reasonable. We're going to put that on the bottom. Got an early barrier, but that may not matter. Hey, Zatalpa. Can you wait to show up until later, please? When I'm like could possibly cast you. Traveler's Amulet. Is that their only land? No. I was gonna say we might get enough time here to really get going, but they've got all their colors now. We know they have Bombard. We're gonna play Barrier. Bombard my Barrier. Okay, well, they don't have anything they can take, but they're going to know Zatalpa's coming. Which is more than I would like them to know. Against our deck, siding in that black 3-mana coercion effect, look at your opponent's hand, make them discard something, is pretty good too. So we are going to play the Sky Marcher. I think we just take one. There's a good chance they're just trying to raid, but they could also have Skullduggery, and I don't feel like it's worth it. So they may bounce something here with, no, just Storm Sculptor again. Interesting. So if we draw a spell right now, we know we want to get rid of it. And we did. Using Run Aground on this is actually pretty brutal. So I think we just go for it, because we know they have Kitesail Freebooter. So I think we just say, there you go. Have fun recasting that and setting that up, and we'll attack for 2 in the meantime. Because they were going to take it away if that's not what we did, and what we would have done otherwise is play a Snubhorn Sentry. So it wouldn't have exactly been explosive. I think what we did was good. This guy's back. Yeah, and right now we're not presenting more of a clock than they are. We can get there, but we're not there yet. We attack, drop them to 16. Sentry, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to draw a permanent we can play, and we can get to the City's Blessing. They probably attack for 2 and replay that thing. Maybe not, though. Maybe they have something else in mind. Replay the bounce unblockable guy is what I mean. They maybe fell Flagship. It's kind of a problem. Although I guess our Gleaming Barrier can just block it forever. There are freebooters back. All right, we did it. So we will get the City's Blessing here. Draws us another land. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to draw one more land and we can cast a Talpa. I think we just attack. If you'd had 3 power, that might have been a little better, but I mean, if I leave this, don't leave this back, I'm taking 5 probably. They're not going to bother crewing Fell Flagship right now. They'll just attack for 5. But if I attack for 5, drop into 11. They attack for 5, drop us to 9. That eventually stops going my way. So I think I like just attacking with our Sentry here. They can crew this if they wanted to and block it, but I don't think they're going to. Yeah. All right, so we're going to block the freebooter, see if they have a trick. It's entirely possible, of course. Skullduggery would be brutal. They would kill this and this, but it's just Direfleet Poisoner, which is also a problem, obviously, because my Gleaming Barrier can't actually block it. I mean, it can in a technical sense, I guess, but I'm hoping they don't do anything else. If they do, I'm going to be a little bit scared. They probably are. I mean, they have 2 cards in their hand and plenty of mana left. Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty good with that Direfleet Poisoner. What did they... Really? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, I think we attack with our Sentry. God, our barriers suck against this opponent. I want to leave the Emissary back to... Well, honestly, we kind of want the Gleaming Barrier to die so that we can get another land, don't we? So we may as well... they can crew this and kill my Emissary. So, just Snubhorn Sentry then. Yeah, that works for me. Makes it harder for me to find a way to kill my other guy, but this is not good. I think they're going to outrace us again. This is when Gleaming Barrier is bad against unblockables and flyers. So they can hit us for 7 right here that we just can't do anything about. Even if we draw the land for Zatalpa next turn. Even if we draw the land for it, it's too late. So I think we're going to finish... Yeah, there's the land, but this is unblockable and this is unblockable. We'll just cast her for fun. She was what sent us down this path. So thank you, Zatalpa. We had fun. It would have been nice to do a little better. But we did pretty well, all things considered. So 1 and 2 in the end, and we won 1 game in every match, didn't we? Yes, at least 1. All right. Okay, well, that was an interesting draft. I'll see you guys in the next draft video.